welcome today at the Autonomous Driving 2014 in Berlin. I got Mr. Sven Beiker here with me, and we're going to spend a couple minutes talking about autonomous driving and the future of ADAS. Sven, just introduce yourself.
Well, happy to do. Well, I'm Sven Beiker. I'm the Executive Director for the Center for Automotive Research at Stanford. Nice acronym, CARS. And as such, I'm working with many different industry partners and researchers, obviously. I also lecture a few classes, one titled actually The Future of the Automobile. And I do some research in automated vehicles and electric vehicles. I'd like to have it all.
That sounds pretty complex and interesting right there.
It is. I mean, the automobile is complex and interesting and emotional and changing.
I know,
and moving.
Right? It's especially emotional with all the people from around the world gathered in this place for a short amount of time, 2 days.
Yeah.
How did you experience that? What brought you here?
Well, what brought me here, not an automobile, actually an aircraft. That was nice as well. But really what brought me here, I mean, a very nice invitation to give a keynote, which was really quite an honor to kick off the workshop yesterday morning. But also what brought me here was really the setting of the workshop here. So what I really liked is not just like one-way presentations, like here's the thing. That's also pretty interactive with all the breakout groups and so on, the World Cafe. So like that. And really the mix of, again, researchers and industry. So this is what I do for a living, obviously, but also it's my dedication. Maybe it's my calling, I don't know, but definitely my dedication. Like, how do we bring together what's happening in research and actually can get it out on the roads?
Let's pick up on your topic that you introduced yesterday, automated driving. Sooner that you might think, but yet different than you'll probably expect.
Yeah.
What's that all about? I caught that sentence.
Well, you know what? I was thinking about it because, or thinking about how to title my talk.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so much talk about these automated vehicles, autonomous vehicles, robot cars, self-driving cars, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to bring some realism to the discussion, but not just realism that we get from industry relatively often. You know what, liability is a big question, and you know what, it takes this and that, which is all true. But what we should not forget that actually there's quite some automation already happening in other areas, and this is what I had in my talk, such as mining industry that started to have actually driverless, so really vehicles without any people on there, already 2 years ago. And research obviously already much earlier. And now we also see more and more of these shuttle vehicles in an urban setting, airports, amusement parks, and so on. And we have to look, not just that we should look, we have to look at those applications as well, because we can learn from it a lot.
Right. So you say there's a couple of, or a whole lot of different aspects and angles to take into the picture when you talk about autonomous driving, right?
Yeah.
Well, is there something still at this conference that has caught your attention up until now that you thought, wow, that has raised my interest, or that really got me an insight that I hadn't put the biggest focus on until now?
Sure. Well, the diplomatic answer is whether all great talks and everything, and everyone is so knowledgeable, which they really are. And I really want to congratulate the organizer of this conference as well, to really bringing together all the different perspectives and not just a few OEMs or one or two tier one suppliers or universities working on it, to really the breadth and overview and all of this. But one talk in particular that I really was very, very happy that I actually attended that talk as well. And that was about all the digital maps and so on, and the cloud-based data that will help future driver assistance systems and eventually the automated vehicles. And I had been thinking about it quite a bit, but I wasn't really aware what's already happening within those companies that maybe at least to the consumer, very often recognized as, well, okay, these are the people who get me the maps to my smartphone, but how deeply they think about how in the end make traffic safer and more efficient. It was pretty impressive.
Would you say you're gonna benefit from the exchange of all the industries and all the different topics, and definitely have something to take back?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I'm in all fairness, I work together officially with 24 companies, one way or another, all in this field. So I think I can claim that I get already pretty good perspective from very personal exchange with experts within those companies. But now at this conference here, to actually get like the official version really back to back from these companies, that is also very helpful. because in the personal discussion I maybe get more like, well, what is the challenge and how does it not work? But here I get very well the different visions and really different visions to quite some extent from different companies. So really how they interpret in the end this automation, which is not just like, okay, we are done, mobility just becomes a commodity, which is much more like, okay, how do we interpret as a premium manufacturer or as a mass volume production company, how do we interpret the automation piece? And that's what I benefit quite a bit from.
I'm glad to hear that. I mean, we try quite a bit to get you into really discussing things, and there's going to be more on that.
You're doing well.
Well, thank you. But are we just getting started, or is it?
Well, it's actually all of the above.
All
because well, the topic as such is not new, and therefore I was really happy to see already in the very first talk from Ms. Malowitz that she obviously found out that something was already going on in 1925. So for me, the era of vehicle automation started in 1939, but now actually even earlier. So therefore, not new in that sense, but also considering all the research that was going on in the 1970s all the way to the 1990s, I think it's really fair to say that we do see like really quite a huge increase in activity in this field. And that means, yes, there's some hype. I think in the general public, especially in the United States, the topic is almost overhyped, and I think it will cool down. But I think in industry, it's really taking off now.
There's no way around it, would you think? Or is there?
I'm not quite sure if I would agree with that, because you can still improve traffic regarding safety and efficiency with humans in the loop. So it's not the inevitable, but the great opportunities on hand, and I think we should seize them. And I think we will, but also because I said all of the above, it will take much, much longer than expected.
We're curious to see what comes next.
Yep. We'll be part of it.
Yeah, we'll be happy to welcome you back for sure.
Sounds good to me.
And continue the ride towards autonomous driving, I'd say. Thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
I hope you enjoyed the rest. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Great.
All right.
Thanks,
Sven.
Absolutely.